A Georgia State student opens up about their experience navigating through campus.
And the NCAA officially begins the formal process of allowing compensation for student athletes. All that and more on Panther Report News. Hello, and welcome to Panther Report News. I'm Keelan Berrien.
And I'm Maya Grant.
The Atlanta child murders terrorized Atlanta's youth 40 years ago. Since then, a number of documentaries have set a spotlight to the case. We turn to Alexandria White for how one Georgia State professor is taking a closer look.
What hasn't changed in America is the power structure's attitude about racial issues.
Early this year, the case that struck fear into the hearts of many Atlanta residents between 1979 and 1981, known as the Atlanta child murders, was reopened.
It would certainly be in order for us to now look once again at these cases and to determine once and for all if there is additional evidence that may be tested.
In 1982, the case involving 22 child murders was closed shortly after Wayne Williams was convicted of killing 2 adults and considered a suspect in the child murders. Since then, more have started asking questions. Vince Velasquez, a former Atlanta Police Department detective that now explores past criminal cases in the series ATL Homicide, says he is skeptical.
So what I did learn reading the FBI fiber analysis report is that there was a significant amount of evidence, physical and circumstantial evidence, that links Wayne Williams to many of these victims, from carpet fibers that were extremely rare, and those fibers were found on several other victims.
But Mark Mori, who was the first journalist granted an interview with Wayne Williams, says the fibers were not a reliable source of evidence.
The fibers were not really a good piece of evidence. I had the FBI admit they bungled the fiber evidence. And it also turns out that the fibers were much more common.
Both investigating the case agree.
And the whole sort of political atmosphere that framed this case, that was not presented in the mainstream media.
A lot of people don't think that Wayne Williams killed all these children. We're coming out of the late 70s, early 80s. We're still fresh in the civil rights era where, there's a lot of distrust from the black community, in the white community, the government, and the police department.
Having been featured on the Netflix original series Mindhunters, the case has piqued the interest of a whole new generation. Mori is now interested in working with the student mentorship program GSU TV to produce a follow-up to his documentary. Alexandria White, PRN.